Well, my name's Mick Green. I've been a rock and roll guitarist for the last 40 years. Started with a band called Johnny Kidd and the Pirates. We weren't the actual original Pirates. The original Pirates left Kidd after recording Shaking All Over. So he got a new little group together, and they happened to be guys that I grew up with, and I've known since I was 11 years old. But the guitarist they had at the time became ill after 6 months on the road. Too many greasy spoons and bacon sandwiches. So he had stomach trouble. And they asked me if I wanted to do it. So I said yes. And that was the start of it, really. I mean, it was about 3 or 4 years with Johnny Kidd and the Pirates. We had about 5 hit records, including I'll Never Get Over You, Hungry for Love, Dr. Feelgood, I Can Tell, Shot of Rhythm and Blues. They were all top 50 hits. And we still do gigs right up to this day. In fact, we're making a new album, a new recording studio album. So, you know, that's where it is. There's a possibility that we're going to write some songs for it as well, but we were looking for stuff that is suitable for us to do. We don't really. We'll do some old pirate songs, re-record them, but it will be a conglomerate of all different bits and bobs that we can put together that have not been recorded before. But Kidd was great. I mean, he seemed. I mean, don't forget, we were like, I was about 17, and Kidd was probably around 24, 25, and he seemed like an old man to me. And you know, we just used to follow him whatever he did, we did, you know, and we were like little kids, you know. And he was like he'd known the business. He had a #1 record, Shaking All Over, and so we looked up to him quite a lot, you know. Although I'm saying that, we did also have our own influence on the music of the Pirates when we joined, as opposed to what it was before. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first real big hit record that we ever did was a thing called I'll Never Get Over You, which actually was written by Gordon Mills, who was Tom Jones's manager. And the point of that is the fact that if we had not done I'll Never Get Over You and it wasn't recorded, there probably wouldn't have been a Tom Jones, because Gordon Mills was absolutely brassic when we recorded that. And it got to #4. So the money from that, he ploughed into Tom Jones and made him a star. If it hadn't gone that way, you know, perhaps there wouldn't have been a Tom Jones. I think Tom was probably talented enough to do it anyway, but we helped. That's the way they put it, but basically what it is because we were a trio, bass, drums and guitar, and the vocalist out front, it gives you that freedom to do whatever you want. As long as the bass and drums are locked into what they're doing, the guitarist is quite free to do anything. You know, he hasn't got to worry about a piano player getting in the way, or another guitarist, like, what's he doing? I can't do that. You know, you're on your own, so you can do whatever you like. And when you do a solo, you know, in those days, I mean, you had to really make it stand out. You hit as many strings as you can, you know. And so it was a little technique that I got together. They call it playing rhythm and lead, but it's just hitting everything. After Johnny Kidd, I went with Billy J. Kramer and Dakotas. They were #1 actually all over the world with little children when I joined them. So you can imagine, I was 20 years old when we went to America, and well, it was just phenomenal. I mean, it was, you know, thousands of kids at the airport. We went just after the Beatles went to the States. Kramer went to the States with Jerry and the Pacemakers, and we toured both the East Coast and the West Coast. And it was just mayhem. It was absolute mayhem. In fact, for the first 6 months I was with Kramer, I never heard a note that I played. It just screams.
What year was this?
This was 65, 66. It was just absolute lunacy. Madness.
But you enjoyed it?
Well, it wasn't that bad.
It must have been great.
We did. I've just finished. Well, about a year ago. About 9 months ago, I finished with Brian Ferry. But we were on the road for about 2.5 years with his album called Frantic that I was on. Excuse me. And we went all over the world. We came back, we'd do like 6 or 7 weeks, come back for a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and then go out again. But we went everywhere. Mm-hmm. All over the place, all over America, all over Europe. And of course I did still do stuff for Van Morrison. I did Glastonbury with him, the last Glastonbury. And I did some stuff with McCartney. I've done 2 albums with Paul McCartney. The last one was Run Devil Run, and we recorded at the Cavern. There was a very famous gig that he did at the Cavern. That was, apparently there was 50 million people. In fact, the internet crashed. There were so many people logging onto it, it crashed. So.
They were transmitting it off.
Yeah, it was doing a live transmission on the internet, and so many people tried to log in that he just couldn't have it. So that was good, something to do. And I met some great people. I met Dave Gilmour and Ian Pace. It was good fun to do, and well, it was great. I've never done any acting in my life. I didn't even do it at school. In fact, I used to shy away from it. I don't know. When Margaret asked me to do it, I wasn't 100% sure that I could get anywhere near it, and I thought, acting? But I wanted to do it. I don't know why I wanted to do it, but I wanted to do it. Just obviously because it was something new that I'd never done before, a bit of a challenge. And I don't know, I thought I'd got nothing to lose. Might as well have a go. You know, it was a rock and roll musician who's became disabled. So, I mean, and I read the script and I figured that I could get close to it because, you know, I've been a rock and roll musician and also knowing where he sort of came from, you know. But I mean, that guy's got quite a lot that are similar to myself, but he's obviously much more bitter than I am. I mean, he had his career taken away at the early stages of his life. You know, he passed out on stage and wound up crippled. I mean, I passed out on stage. The same thing happened to me. I had a heart attack in New Zealand, and if it wasn't the fact that there was 2 doctors in the audience that rushed up and gave me CPR, I'd have been good night Vienna. So.
When did that happen?
About 18 months ago. So I had to stay in New Zealand for 6 weeks. I had quadruple bypass and a defibrillator put in. Mm-hmm. So there's a similarity straight away. We both passed out on stage. It was basically that. I mean, plus the fact that, you know, he seems to be getting a bit of a raw deal, really. You know, passed around from place to place. But I liked the overall, you know, the character Des. I thought he was spunky. Mm-hmm. Great. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was tremendous, and the people there were really friendly. I thought I would get, because not knowing the situation at all, I'm clueless. I thought the other actors might think, you know, I mean, musician acting, you know, it should be given to another actor. But they weren't. They were really great, you know. Made some really good friends, and they were all helpful. And they would, you know, we'd go away and go through the lines together, and it was a really great atmosphere, really. Well, he's absolutely useless, isn't he? Really. I mean, it's a complete waste of time, you know. I mean, it's chocolate ashtray. I mean, what can he do? It's just hopeless.
Really bad.
Terrible.
So how did you find working with Patrick?
Nah, he's cool. He just let you get on with it, you know. If he was really outrageously wrong even to say. But he pointed us in the direction and let get on with it, which I think. I mean, if I'd have had somebody like running around saying, "Put your elbow here, put that there, look there, do that," I mean, I'd have been a blur. I wouldn't know what to do. But he was great.
So you felt supported by him?
I did, yeah. Because considering the fact that I'd never done it before. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to. I mean, I can't see myself doing King Lear, but I would take something else on. Yeah.
You would.